we're going to make some notes about how you can get the most out of these deep focus sessions online. Firstly, you're going to be moving, so make some space for yourself as much as you can. I have seen people do this in a tiny gap between a bed and a wardrobe and a chair, and it still worked. But if you have more space, that's better. And particularly if you can find a space where you're able to move back from the camera enough that we can see all or most of your body while you're moving, that's super helpful. And then somewhere to sit in front of the camera as well. And you may want to sort of play with the angle of it a bit. Make your space kind of safe, you know, like just pick up stuff off the floor and make sure you're not going to hit anything that could break. And so you make your space safe and usable, but also bring something beautiful into the space that you have to move in. Whether it's a candle or some flowers or a picture or a stone that you love, or just so you have something in the space that is kind of beautiful and special to you. The essential nature of the work of deep focus, where you get to move on your own, being witnessed by the group and with some kind of guidance from me, that will happen. You'll have a couple of goes at that. There'll be one session of 1 minute each first, just to sort of get the hang of what that feels like to be in front of the camera. And then you'll have a session as well, which will be longer. It's a very powerful thing to be seen like that, like really strong. There's something about being held in the attention field of a group that has the power to accelerate your learning and healing. That's nothing like anything I've ever quite experienced in any other way. And it being such a sort of high energy space, it can take you to places that you don't expect. And so I really encourage you to move in ways that take you out of the box. You know, you may find yourself just crawling on the floor, or you may find yourself very emotional, or you may find yourself very minimal. Sometimes people just need to rest on the floor. They just lie down and rest. And you know, for example, if you're a very big achiever, it can be amazing to have that moment or extended moment where you're not trying to achieve anything, you're not trying to entertain us, even though you've got our full attention. It is not about entertaining us. It's just about you being you. And maybe you're just very subtle and restful. Maybe you really explode, and you know, it's all good. And the amazing thing about this is that whatever you do will be an incredible learning experience for everybody else. You know, you're just going to spend a fair amount of time witnessing other people move, and it's not dead time. It's amazing time to be in witness to someone's deeply personal moment. It's a privilege and an honor and an astonishing learning process. While I'm facilitating you, or at any other point in the whole workshop, I encourage you to question anything and everything. If something doesn't feel right for you, absolutely speak up, or just go your own way. It's totally okay. I'm not infallible, and sometimes the key to the moment is for one of you to say, Adam, no, that's not right. And, you know, so that you're all there, you're there as an autonomous adult human being, even though you might go into very childlike states sometimes. You know, that's also something that can happen. People can go into very young places, and we'll hold you, we'll be with you through that. But even then, there's a kernel of yourself, which is, it is your time and it's your process, and you decide. You have the power to decide what is okay and what is not, and absolutely the right to question anything. I also may well encourage you to use your voice. There's something about this format that brings that out of people more than sort of normal group movement session. Somehow the voice becomes more often a sort of key part of the process, which in my opinion is like really the way it is. I think the body needs to make sound often a lot more than we do in sort of classical movement classes, which I guess we're all sort of on some level trying to be sociable, which is fine, and care for each other, not invade each other's space verbally or orally, but it's great to use your voice. And so I may encourage you to do that. I may also encourage you to use not just sounds but words, and sometimes it can be really super powerful and useful and effective to use like simple words like help or no or yes or I love this, and things like that are very simple and can be spoken in a way that doesn't take you into your head, but can be a sort of juicy, embodied part of your movement experience. So if I say, find some words for that, that's what I'm talking about usually. I might stop you. Occasionally I stop someone and ask them to describe how they're feeling in a more sort of rigorous, analytical, and intellectual way. But mostly when I ask you to speak, I'm saying like, just let your whole body, heart, and mind system express itself in that way too, because sometimes that's the key. And what we're always doing here in these deep focus sessions is looking for the key. Like what's really the truth of this moment. That's what we're looking for. What's really true right now, and how can I be that I am, in the most full, magnificent, beautiful, flawed human way possible. There will be a bit of time to debrief after each session if you want. Just a minute or two to just say what you experienced, and for me to give you any feedback. I might give you some homework, stuff to practice in the days and weeks to come, and that can be really useful too, because we want to bring everything on board, including your intelligence. So yes, you have a somatic experience, and you're probably feeling a lot emotionally, but we want to bring your intelligence on board as well, so that your whole being gets what it is that you're going through and what it is that you're learning, and how you can take that forward into your life. Your role as the witness is just that, just to witness. But there can be a slight expectation on us that we, in order to be a witness, we should be a good witness. And it's great. It's great if you can be present for the person who's moving, or present with the person who's moving. That's no doubt a huge part of the power of this whole process. And if you're sitting there as a witness, sort of making an effort to be a good person, that's just going to really suck after quite a short amount of time. So what I'd encourage you to do is to be real. So you might have a moment where you just get super tired, or you feel like you just can't really give attention in that moment. Close your eyes. It's fine. Just go inside. Maybe something that you're witnessing has triggered something in you, and just go with it. Just close your eyes for a minute, or even lay down if you want for a moment, and just drop out. It's really okay. There'll be enough of us to be with the person moving, that it's okay. And and even you don't have to be a kind of nice person loving the person that you're witnessing either. Sometimes we get triggered. We'll get judgmental, or start to dislike what we're seeing, and in some way it gets difficult to be with, and it's okay. Just be yourself. It's really okay to just be yourself. As witnesses, I may ask you at some points to give something back as a gesture to the person who's working, because they will be able to see all of you seeing them, and it can be beautiful sometimes to just like offer something to the person who's moving. That I'll guide you with that. You'll see how it works. Because we will be seeing each other going through something pretty personal, and often speaking about what that is as well, I ask you to please honour each other's privacy and not gossip about anyone else's work, not share anyone else's work with people outside of this circle after the workshop. And I will check that with you all during the session. On that subject of kind of the circle, we have a Facebook group exclusively for people who have done this deep focus process, and it's a private group, so no one can see what you post there or even see who's in it, and you will be welcome to join it after the session, and then you can just connect with each other and share something with each other if you want, and share a story. It's really nice to hear from you afterwards, like a week later, of what unfolded for you after the session. That can also be great to just share with us, and share with me. I would love to hear from you. Factor in some time at the end of the session, after it's completed, to be able to do nothing. So leave at least 10 minutes, I would say half an hour or even an hour, to just have some empty space, and you can rest or you can journal a bit. If you've got pen and paper, it's great to write about what you experienced and what you learnt, or go for a walk in nature. Just have some time where you don't have other commitments and you have to look after someone else or something, if possible. On a technical level, there's just a couple of things. I guess you've used Zoom before. If you haven't, go to that test page that's in the email list you got sent and check it out, and learn how to click on gallery view so that you can see everybody in the group. And we will all pin your video. It's called pin video. So when someone's about to work, what you do is you hover the mouse over their picture, and you'll see a little blue square in the right hand corner with 3 dots on it, and you click on that blue square, and one of the options that comes up in the drop down menu is pin video. So you do that, and then we'll all be looking at the one person who's got the focus, and if I'm talking, it won't flip the picture to me, because otherwise it flips the picture to me if you have it in speaker view. So you want to pin video, and we'll just go over that stuff at the beginning. But if you've never done that before, maybe just go onto Zoom and practice how to do that. Set up a session with a friend or two and practice how to do that. I think that's it. So welcome to Deep Focus. I hope you have a really good session. I love this way of working. I discovered it about 20 years ago and find it deeply magical and astonishing every time, just what can be achieved in these little windows of time, and how much we can learn from each other too. So, see you there.